Welcome back to another Seattle Seahawks review. The Seahawks beat the Minnesota Vikings 38-7 in a game where they dominated in every single asset of the game. It was a truly amazing game from the Seahawks. We'll get right into the main point that I want to talk about, and that is the offense. The offense is clicking so much in the past few weeks. It is tremendous to see this offense play the amount of football that they are playing. It seems like it is the best offense Russell Wilson has ran ever since he's been with Seattle. And his first year was pretty good, even though there were some games that weren't great. I remember the blowouts that we had with the Bills and the Cardinals. Those are very memorable games that I watched, and we completely dominated those teams when we faced them. So let's get into some stats today from the game today. Russell Wilson was 21 of 27 today. 274 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, 146 quarterback rating, and we ended up winning 38-7, and he also had a rushing touchdown as well. Could have had 2 rushing touchdowns and take away a passing touchdown if the 53-yard touchdown to Baldwin the 53-yard touchdown by Russell Wilson isn't nullified because of a holding call from Luke Wilson, which is completely a holding call. No doubt, but the Seahawks end up getting a touchdown on the very next play to Doug Baldwin for 53 yards. So overall, this team is able to finish off drives even with all the penalties that are being accounted to them. Even though, yes, today there were some penalties that were kind of bad on the Minnesota Vikings. If anybody says that this was one-sided and that the Seahawks would have not won this game if the refs didn't hand it to them, you are very ignorant, because the Seahawks completely dominated in every corner and facet of this game. It was tremendous the way they played today, and on offense it was tremendous. I mean, Rawls 19 carries, 101 yards, 9 rushes for Wilson and 51 yards, and Rawls had a rushing touchdown. Not to mention the play of the defense. The defense played tremendous as well. Defense didn't give up a touchdown today. Special teams gave up a kick return touchdown, but that was it. They gave up a total of 125 total yards in this football game. They stopped Teddy Bridgewater. They completely stopped Adrian Peterson, who was the leading rusher coming into this one. He ran 8 times and only had 18 yards. Truly tremendous, if you ask me. I don't even know how that was possible. I believe in this Seahawks team, but the defense really showed me today that they are back to where they used to be. Last week was really bad for them. They had some turnovers that they did indeed get, but when it came down to it, they gave up several yards to that Pittsburgh Steelers offense. And today they were tremendous and played their hearts out, and they absolutely dominated in every point of the game. Everything was good for the Seahawks, and everything clicked today. If there's a few things that I want to assess from today's game, it's penalties. We gotta stop down the penalties. But I think one drive we had 3 penalties on an offensive drive, but we still scored a touchdown on that drive. So it's good to overcome those penalties. That's good to see in the future. We had a fumble today. Rawls fumbled the ball, but that was the first blemish, the first drive of the day, and the only blemish of this whole entire game. And probably the kickoff return for a touchdown was a blemish as well, but other than that, it was a completely great game for the Seahawks to win. Great momentum builder, and they will move on to the Baltimore Ravens next week and watch a team I think they can beat. So we continue with some stats here. 17 of 28 for Bridgewater, 118 yards, and 1 interception. So overall, we shut them down completely. The receivers weren't getting open. Their top three receivers, if you really want to call that, is 2 receptions, 43 yards for Mike Wallace. Jarius Wright got 2 receptions and 24 yards. Stephon Diggs got 2 receptions and 22 yards. So overall, they were shut down with every single player they had. The defense stopped every single person on that field on offense, and they did a tremendous job. And on the other side of the play, at least for the Seahawks offense, receiving top 3, Doug Baldwin had 5 receptions for 94 yards, 2 touchdown receptions, and 53-yard touchdown reception right after the Wilson touchdown, 53-yard touchdown run was nullified. And then we have Tyler Lockett, who had 7 receptions for 90 yards, and then Luke Wilson, 2 receptions and 36 yards, and then Fred Jackson had the other passing touchdown from Wilson. So Russell Wilson, let's assess him for a minute. 11 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks. He has had 879 passing yards and 75.9 completion percentage. At the end of it all, 3 wins. That's the biggest statistic that matters. The Seahawks overall so far with Wilson, he's been tremendous. He has more touchdowns in the last 3 weeks than he had in the first 9 weeks of the season, and he's just completely found himself again. 21 touchdowns on the season, 7 interceptions. And it's just a tremendous job by Russell Wilson the way he's played these past few weeks, especially in the pocket. He's becoming a pocket passer, and he's able to stay in there and trust his offensive line because his offensive line is doing a lot better. Overall, the Seattle Seahawks team can easily make a run, and I think we're hitting our prime. We're hitting the right time of the year. He is essentially Mr. December. He moves to 13-2 in December. when playing games. So it's been tremendous. The Seahawks win this game. Russell Wilson is a big part of these last 3 wins. He has played absolutely tremendous, and he's played MVP-like. I don't know if I put him in that MVP category, but if he has the next 4 games, if he has, I say 12 passing touchdowns over those next 3 games, or next 4 games, excuse me, you should put him in that MVP conversation because he is playing tremendous, and he has had a passer rating of his last 3 games have been all above 140. I'm almost positive all his last 3 games have been 140. So that's tremendous for the passer rating. I mean, it's truly tremendous. I'm glad Russell Wilson is finding himself again and playing like he played before. And Doug Baldwin as well. He's played tremendous. I think he has like 400 plus yards over his last 4 games. Overall, the offense has been playing absolutely amazing. They're starting to find their stride, and that's something that was kind of missing the previous 3 years. I mean, we had our strides, and we did enough to get a win. I mean, we didn't play the greatest. We're not playing like we are right now. We did not play like that for several years. I mean, we're clicking on all cylinders, and especially with the previous 3 years in the Russell Wilson era, we did enough to get it done for the win. There were some times we did the extra mile and we clicked on all cylinders as well. But now we've done it 3 straight games in a row, and it looks like it's something that's going to be consistent. And I'm definitely excited for it because I've been waiting for this, and I've always defended Russell Wilson, saying he's this great quarterback, and I think it's paying off because he truly is showing how good of a quarterback he is. And he's not just a game manager like everybody likes to call him. I don't know many game managers that throw for 3 touchdowns, and 5 touchdowns. So I don't know many game managers like that, but the Seahawks are clicking, and they're clicking at the right time. So let me know your thoughts and opinions. Do you think the Seahawks can go ahead and go back to the Super Bowl? I think at this point, they're definitely in that contention. I don't think any team in the NFL wants to face the Seattle Seahawks with how they are playing currently. They've found their stride, and they're moving down to, they're moving deep into the season. And the deeper they get, the stronger they get. It seems like we're playing a lot better. It seems like we always seem to finish out the season strong. Don't always have the greatest of starts, except the 2013 season we were 4-0. But other than that, the Seahawks are rolling, and they are now 7-5 with 4 games left. Next game will be against the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore, then the Cleveland Browns at home, the St. Louis Rams at home, and the last game of the season against the Arizona Cardinals on the road. So let me know your thoughts and opinions on this game today. Seahawks played absolutely well in every single category of the game. It's been tremendous to see this the last 3 weeks. This is the offense that I've been just waiting for all season long. The first 9 weeks, I was wondering, what is up with Wilson? 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, not a good passer rating, or at least a decent passer rating, and now he's definitely making me excited for the rest of the season. It's going to be a good ride. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a like, a comment, plus subscribe. And if you have any thoughts that you want to leave in the comments below, please let them be known. I'd love to read your comments and see what you guys thought of this game. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.